Nobody warns you about the one who loves you loudly. They warn you about the cold ones, the distant ones, the ones who never call back. But nobody sits you down and says, "Be careful of the one who calls too much, who feels too right, too fast, who says everything you have been waiting your whole life to hear in the very first month." Because that is not love arriving. That is a trap, decorated to look like everything you ever prayed for. Caleb was 33 years old. From the outside, his life looked good. Good job, nice apartment, people who liked him. But inside, something was missing. He could not explain it. He just knew that at the end of every day, he felt alone. He had tried relationships before. He had hoped before, but it never quite worked. Caleb stopped expecting much from love. He told himself he was fine. He was not fine. He was just very good at pretending. That was the version of Caleb that Rachel found. And Rachel was very good at finding exactly that kind of person. Rachel did not arrive loudly. That is the first thing you need to understand. She was not aggressive, not obvious, not desperate. She was perfect. They met through a mutual friend, a casual dinner, nothing special. But Rachel paid attention to everything Caleb said. She remembered the small things, the name of his childhood dog, his complicated relationship with his father, the dream he had quietly given up on at 25. 2 weeks in, she looked at him and said, "Caleb, I have never met anyone who thinks the way you think." Nobody had ever said that to him. He bought it completely. Within a month, she was calling him the first thing every morning. She cooked for him. She showed up unexpectedly with his favorite food. She cried, telling him how afraid she was of losing someone like him. It felt like a miracle. His friend Marcus pulled him aside one evening and said, "Brother, is it not moving a little fast?" Caleb smiled and said, "When it is right, you just know." What neither of them understood yet, a fire that starts with that much heat almost always burns everything down. It did not happen overnight. That is the thing about this kind of relationship. It does not change suddenly. It changes quietly. You do not feel it happening. First, it was his friends. Rachel never said she disliked them. She was smarter than that. She said things like, "Marcus does not seem to respect your growth. I just feel like your friends do not see how special you are." It sounded like love, like someone protecting him. So Caleb pulled back from Marcus quietly. Then it was his job. She said she missed him when he worked late. She said his boss was taking advantage of him. She said he deserved better. One evening, Caleb came home late after an important deadline. Rachel was sitting in the living room, in the dark, just silent, with eyes that made him feel like he had done something terrible without her saying a single word. He apologized for working. Then came the Sunday Caleb still thinks about. His mother's birthday dinner. The whole family together, something that happened once a year. That morning, Rachel woke up, not upset about anything he could see,
just quiet. You know, that kind of quiet that made the whole apartment feel different. He asked what was wrong. She said, "Nothing. Go to your family. I will be okay." The way she said okay, Caleb was not comfortable. He called his mother, told her he was not feeling well. He spent the afternoon beside Rachel on the couch. By evening, she was warm again, smiling, telling him he was the only person who truly understood her. He missed his mother's birthday. He told himself, this is what love looks like. What he could not see yet was that his world had been quietly, carefully, lovingly getting smaller. And he had not noticed because he was too busy standing in her spotlight to see that everything else around him had gone completely dark.
It was a Thursday afternoon. Caleb got promoted, the biggest moment of his career. His own team, a salary he had worked years for. He called Rachel from the parking lot. She picked up on the third ring. He told her. She reluctantly said, "Oh, that is great." He went home, walked in smiling. She looked at him once and looked back at her phone. For some days, the woman who called him her answered prayer did not look at him. On the fifth morning, Caleb sat at his corridor before she woke up. He let himself ask the question he had been running from. When did I last feel like myself? He could not remember. When did I last make a decision without thinking about how she would react? He could not remember that either. He sat there for a long time. Then he picked up his phone. He called Marcus.
Marcus picked up immediately, like he had been waiting. Caleb said, "I think something is wrong." Marcus said, "I know, brother. I have been here the whole time." They talked for some hours. At the end, Marcus said something Caleb wrote down and kept. Real love does not ask you to disappear inside it. If you are smaller now than you were before she came, that is not love. That is control wearing a costume. Rachel was not a monster. She was someone who had never learned to love without controlling. Someone so afraid of being left that she needed to make herself the center of everything. She did not love Caleb. She loved what Caleb made her feel about herself. The moment Caleb achieved something that had nothing to do with her. Caleb is free now. It took time. It took honest conversations with himself he had been avoiding, but he is free, and he knows now what to look for. Not the one who arrives like a miracle, the one who stays like solid ground, the one who is still learning you and still wants to, the one who makes you feel safe enough to choose yourself. So let me speak directly to you now. If someone in your life makes your world smaller, that is not love. If you are apologizing more, explaining yourself more, trusting yourself less since they arrived, that is not love. Real love never needs to convince you. Real love shows up quietly. Real love makes your world bigger, not smaller. So be careful of the loud ones. Sometimes all that noise Never trust the one who needs you broken to feel whole. Thanks for your time. Subscribe to this channel, because we do not just tell stories here, we tell the truth that sets people free. I will see you in the next one.